Hi, I'm Nick. What you're seeing on screen right now is exactly what my colleagues see in meetings. It's exactly what my clients see in client calls, and it's also what my students see when I'm teaching. My blurred background is faked. My colors are faked. Even my audio quality is faked to a degree. So I'm gonna teach you how to level up your OBS game so you look and sound more professional to your clients, your boss, your students, or your audience. So hit subscribe so you don't miss a video in the series. And we're starting now. So what does the final product look like? Let me give you a demo of the teaching setup that I used last semester. So we start with a holding screen. Hey, it's Nick with a more reasonable hairstyle. Let's demo the screen share. So now you can see exactly what's on my screen. I can teach this, I can present this, and with a little magic, I can also remove my background. So no matter where I move myself on the screen, I'm not taking up more space than I want. And if I don't want that overlay, smooth transition and it's gone. And if I need to step out and I don't want my video and my microphone on, but guys, it's time to say goodbye to the demo. If that looked good to you, consider giving this video a thumbs up. It would really help me out a lot, and it's totally free. So now you know what it all looks like, and it's all done through OBS. But it's a lot to take in. OBS is not scary, it doesn't have to be difficult, and you can set this up without problem if you learn it the right way. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So here's our first 3 bites. So first, we are going to create our main screen, this screen here, what you're seeing right now. That means your face and your voice, or in other words, your webcam and your microphone. Next, we're going to set up your screen share scene so that you can show people what you're working on. These 2 scenes, your main scene and your screen share scene, are the 2 most important screens. Everything else is just razzle dazzle. And finally, we're going to put a basic built-in transition between your scenes so that you can have a nice transition when you switch between the 2. And don't worry, we're gonna get into the fancy transitions, the intro, the outro screens, but we need to start somewhere, and this is where we're gonna start. The 2 most important things first. Welcome to OBS. It looks boring and confusing simultaneously, but don't worry about it. It'll all become clear. We're creating our first scene. So in our scenes window, we're gonna click the plus button to add a scene. And I'm gonna call it main in all caps. You can name it whatever you want. I just think it's really important, so I'm putting it in all caps. And just like that, we now have a useless dark void that does nothing. No audio, no video. So let's add the audio and video. So your scene is made up of sources. Each scene will pump out whatever source is in this little sources window here. A scene is like a box of sources. It just holds all those sources and pumps them out. So under sources, we'll hit the plus button to add a source. Let's do video first. So video capture device, click that. I'm going to call this webcam. Make source visible is on. Okay. Wow, that's a lot of options. The device that I want is my webcam. Boom. This is very flattering. What's happening here? If I hit OK, I'm just this little square. I don't know if this is going to happen for you or not, but here's how to fix it. I'm going to right click back on webcam and I can hit on properties, or I can just press this properties button right here. And under the resolution, it says device default. Clearly, that is not working for me. So I'm going to change it to custom. And I know that my resolution is 1920 by 1080. Hit enter, and there we go. Now you can click and drag any source and move it around. So you can see when it's outside of the visible area, you get these lines. I'm just gonna move it into the corner. It'll snap into there, and you can see now I am perfectly aligned with this video area, which is great. That's what I want. Unfortunately, nobody can hear me, right? There's no this mic aux thing, nothing, we have no audio going, right? We only have a webcam because main is just a box that holds our sources. And right now, the only source we have is our webcam. So all anybody's gonna hear until we can add an audio source. So click on the plus button to add an audio input capture because it's audio coming into your computer. Create new. Microphone, hit OK, and let's find it. I have a lot of devices. I just so happen to know that my Focusrite thing is what this microphone is called. So that's what I'm choosing, and I will hit OK. And now, if I scroll down here, I'm going to see that this microphone thing, every time I talk, it's going to go up just a little bit. That's good. That's also what we want. So now people can see us and they can hear us. If you want to test this, you can hit the start recording button and just say test, 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 and then stop recording. Then figure out where OBS saves that file, which is in File, Settings, Output, and here. So if I go into my videos folder, open it, listen back to it, I'm hearing audio, I'm seeing video. Looks pretty good to me. Maybe you added the wrong webcam, maybe you added the wrong microphone. You can just simply go click it, open up your properties, and then switch the device again over to whatever you want. Same with the microphone, click it, hit properties. If you got the wrong device, just keep trying them until one of them works in your test. That is how you troubleshoot everything in OBS. Just record a video, watch it back. Does it work? Great. Does it not? Try something else. And if you accidentally added something that you don't want, like this bad microphone I have here, just hit that subtract button to remove it from your sources. And you're good again. So now we want to make our second scene. We want that screen share scene so that we can teach, so that we can present and show people what is on our screen. So it's a new scene. We're going to hit the plus button to add a new scene. We're going to name it screen share. I'm going to all caps that because it is important, not because I like to yell. Add a new source. We're going to hit plus and display capture. I'm going to name it right screen. And it looks like it's working. I have two displays. So my display 1 is my left monitor and display 2 is my right monitor. I'm going to do my right monitor. I want to capture my cursor. If I had that off, you'll see that no matter where I move my mouse, it doesn't show up. But I do want my mouse because I do a lot of teaching. So hit OK. This is very visually confusing. So I'm just going to hit this eye icon to turn it off. So now we can't see it. I'm going to turn it back on later. We have our screen. Right? This is showing exactly what's on the screen, which unfortunately gets into an infinite loop and is confusing, but we don't have any audio. So again, people are just going to hear silence. So we need to add an audio input capture. And since we already made our microphone, we can just add an existing microphone and hit OK. And now, scrolling down again, we're going to see that my microphone is working. So now people can see our screen and they can also hear us. If you'd like, you can also add a webcam overlay. We're going to add the source, a video capture device, just like we did before, and we can add our existing webcam. Okay, here it is. But now I'm going to hover my mouse over the corner here, that little square, click and drag it down. And now I'm in the corner. And if you want to see that better, I can hide that screen capture. So here's what I did. I hovered over that square and I just did this. And that'll work on any square. I like to put me in the corner and I'm kind of like aimed that way. So I would kind of move this over so that I'm kind of facing the rest of my content, the rest of my screen, which is crazy right now. So when we switch scenes right now, we get this harsh cut. And it's fast, but it's not very exciting. If we skip over sources, we skip over this audio mixer over to scene transitions, this is where that magic's gonna happen. So if you click on scene transitions, you're gonna immediately notice that you made a horrible mistake because now you have this window floating around and that is not what we want. So just drag it back over towards the area. It'll give you this highlight, let go of your mouse, and it'll dock again. But most importantly, this drop down menu here is going to give you a list of all the transitions that you can put onto your scenes. Right now we're on the cut transition, and that means every time we switch a scene, every scene is just going to be a harsh cut, just boom, into the next scene. If I change it to fade, now we are fading between scenes like an 80s drama. Wow, fun. We can also add our own if we click on this drop down. Let's try a slide. So add slide transition. I'm going to name it Cha-Cha Slide. And now looking at these properties, we got a giant letter A, which doesn't really make sense until you hit preview transition. And now we're seeing how it changes from A to B and B to A. And we'll have these options. It can slide in left, it can slide right. Preview transition. Now we're sliding to the right, can slide up, can slide down, and keep it on slide to the left. That seems to be a theme in my videos. Slide to the left. And now when we switch between our scenes, our Cha-Cha Slide transition is taking over and we're getting this nice slide to the left. The duration is the duration. So these are in milliseconds. There are 1,000 milliseconds in a second, and that means that 600 is just over half a second. So if you want this faster, we can change it to only 100 milliseconds. And now when we switch Oh my God, it's going much faster. If you wanted that longer, we could say 1200 milliseconds, which is just over a second long. And that's really slow. I actually liked 600 for the speed of this. And some of these transitions have a lot more options. So let's add a Luma wipe so I can show you. I'm just gonna name it Luma wipe. So let's preview it. We're like, okay, that's fine. But if we look at the image, oh my goodness, there are so many. So a lot of these other options, I didn't even know what they did until I just set the number really high and then previewed it. And so for this, you can see that it softens up the edges. You can invert it. So it's just going the opposite way. Things get really out of hand and you have every option clicked and you just want to go back, just hit defaults. It'll take us back to linear horizontal, that 0.03 softness, no invert, you're good. And if you make a transition, you accidentally hit enter or something and you want to go back, select the transition that you want to change. Let's say I want to change cha-cha slide to slide from the right. Hit this gear icon, go to properties, and now I can change it to slide to the right. I'm glad I did that. And you can have multiple instances of the same type of transition. So right now I have this Luma wipe and maybe I want another Luma wipe. So I can open this transitions dropdown, scroll down to add Luma wipe, name it Luma wipe 2. And now I can pick another effect, maybe a spiral, maybe soften it a bit. Sure. So now I have my Luma wipe 2, which is the spiral, but I also have my original Luma wipe. So now I have both of those. I don't have to settle for just one type of Luma wipe. I can get both. And that's the same for cuts, for slides, whatever. So we've got our main scene. We have our screen share here. And we have these cool transitions between them. And now we want to make our cool little like intro holding screen and our cool outro screen. Those are just a clever combination of GIFs, sound effects, and text. So to create that scene, all you have to do is subscribe and come back next week. See you then. So for GIF, you can just go on Giphy. I just try to find the lo-fi girl. Okay, none of these are the lo-fi girl. Oh wait, no, that is. No, this is the lo-fi girl. Okay, good.